What is Lincolnville, South Carolina? Seriously, have you ever even heard of it? Don't worry, most folks haven't. Even most locals in Charleston have no clue it exists. It's this tiny spot that kind of hides in plain sight, right next to downtown Summerville. But here's the kicker. Lincolnville has deep historical roots in a super convenient location that might just surprise you. So let's take a closer look at this underrated little town and why it might deserve a spot on your radar. First, I think it's best we spend a minute or so discussing the history of the town, because understanding how Lincolnville came to be really helps make sense of what it is today. Now, Lincolnville was founded in 1867, just after the Civil War, and named in honor of, you guessed it, President Abraham Lincoln. It was one of the many towns that emerged during Reconstruction, which was a time that focused on rebuilding the South and redefining the lives of newly freed African Americans. Nearly all of Lincolnville sits in Charleston County, with just a small portion in Dorchester. The town was founded as a safe haven for newly freed slaves, built through the efforts of freed people, educators, missionaries, and churches who came together to create a self-sustaining community rooted in education, freedom, and hope in the heart of the South just after the Civil War ended. Now, major historical figures would help pave the way for freed people, with one of the most prominent being Reverend Richard Kane. He was an American minister and the first Black American to serve in the United States Congress. He and 7 other men were dissatisfied with Charleston, so they left and moved out towards Summerville. They settled in this area known as the Pump Pond. It was a large swamp that trains used to load up on supplies like water, wood, and coal. Now, in 1867, these 8 men would purchase 620 acres of this land from the South Carolina Railroad Company for just $1,000. After land was paid for, a charter was established for the town, and it officially became incorporated on December 24th, 1889, thanks to African-American attorney Samuel J. Lee of Charleston. Samuel Lee was a former Speaker of the South Carolina House of Representatives and played a vital role in Lincolnville's incorporation 22 years after Reverend Richard Kane and the Allies had purchased it. The town quickly became a sanctuary for African Americans, many of whom were freedmen or formerly enslaved individuals. Over time, the community started to thrive, and with the development of important churches and schools that helped educate and further advance the community as a whole. And because of all this history, Lincolnville is part of the Reconstruction Era National Historic Network as an important site affiliated with the Reconstruction of the United States. So while this town is small in size, its story is anything but. Today, Lincolnville is still a small town, about 1.2 square miles in size, with a population of just over 1,100 people. As the Charleston metro has grown, Lincolnville has actually seen stagnant or even declining population. Summerville alone has neighborhoods that are much larger than this entire town, but it is in fact a little municipality tucked away in Charleston County, just like the cities of North Charleston, Mount Pleasant, and Hollywood and the others. But this small town feel is why many people enjoy living here, with the added benefit of having plenty of shopping options and fun festivals that come to Summerville only a short drive away. If you've ever looked at a map of Summerville, you'll notice this weird little circle that's carved out on the southern border. That's Lincolnville. It's bordered by Summerville to the northwest and south, and by Latson to the southeast. One of the main roads in town is called Lincolnville Road, and a big pro is that it takes you right to the heart of downtown Summerville, which is only a 5-minute drive away. Some of the most popular events and festivals in the entire metro take place just up the street from Lincolnville. Some examples are the Flowertown Festival, Third Thursday, and the Sweet Tea Festival, and the Summerville Farmers Market. People commute from all over the metro to experience these festivals, and you could literally walk there if you wanted to. But that's not all. Lincolnville is also close to the Exchange Park in Latson, which is only an 8-minute drive away with normal traffic. A wide variety of events are hosted here throughout the year, with the most prominent being the Coastal Carolina Fair. It's one of the biggest fairs in the state of South Carolina that spans over an 11-day period. The North Charleston Farmers Market takes place here on Thursdays as well, so even though Lincolnville is a small town, there's plenty of cool stuff happening just a short drive away. On top of this, there are 2 parks right next to Lincolnville. That is Gahagan Park and Summerville Little League Park. Both of these amenities have baseball fields, and as the name suggests, this is where local kids play league baseball. The Jerry Blackwell Sports Complex is in Gahagan Park, and it's one of the most popular areas for kids sports in all of Summerville. The park also has a great playground, football field, picnic shelters, and soccer fields as well. They offer youth programs for girls and boys, so if you have kids, this could be a nice feature to live next to. Now, where the town is located relative to major roads could be a pro or con depending on what you value. Lincolnville is not situated next to any major road, which offers some extra privacy and less overall traffic most of the time. People who are traveling to or from Summerville are not going to be using Lincoln Avenue because it's not the fastest option. Most are going to use I-26 or Highway 78. And most people aren't intentionally traveling to Lincolnville as it is anyways. So if you value living in an area that's going to be less busy and maintain that small town feel, then this could be a great spot to look. However, it is surrounded by some of the busiest commuter roads in the area. Both Summerville and Latson are home to a lot of commuters, and this means traffic can get backed up, especially during rush hours. And the most notably on Lincolnville Road and Highway 78. These roads are some of the main routes for commuters who are trying to get to the interstates traveling north or south. Lincolnville is pretty close to I-26, but depending on the time of day and traffic conditions, it could take an extra 10 minutes just to get to the interstate ramps. So while this town is tucked away in its own little private area, away from major roads, you're still going to be affected by commuter traffic if you have to drive for work. This means that you have longer travel times to get home and get to work, so you might have to leave earlier in the morning. But the commute times would still be shorter than if you live further up in Summerville or in the Ridgeville area and commuted by I-26. I know this all sounds pretty complicated, especially if you haven't lived here and have no understanding of the traffic patterns. Part of my job as a real estate agent is to help educate you on these factors so that you're making the best decision possible. No situation is alike. Now that we know more about the history and location of Lincolnville, let's talk about the home prices and styles. You'll find mobile homes, townhomes, brick ranch homes, and new construction modern homes in Lincolnville. This is great because it's a good spot to look for affordable homes at nearly all income levels, but there is limited inventory due to the size of the town. If you're looking for an upscale modern home, then you are in luck because D.R. Horton developed a residential community in Lincolnville called Founders Corner. It's located on the northern side of town with close access to Highway 78. It's a smaller community with 45 homes and 9 distinct floor plans. For home sizes, they range from 1,600 square feet all the way up to 3,200 square feet. And some notable features of these homes are, hardy plank siding, double front porches, and gas fireplaces. It can be difficult to find new construction homes this close to downtown Summerville, so that's why this community stands out. Not because it's in Lincolnville, but because it might as well be in Summerville with Charleston County taxes, not Dorchester County taxes, and that makes a huge difference because you're going to pay significantly less. So I think we should talk about home prices. I used the last years of sales data in Lincolnville to give you an accurate idea of what to expect. The most affordable home that sold here was a mobile home on a permanent foundation, so its price was a little bit of an outlier as it sold for $242,000. Townhomes though started around this price as well. For modern new construction homes, prices start around $400,000 and can easily exceed over $500,000. The median sales price for a home in Lincolnville last year was $425,000, but this data is partially skewed because the majority of the homes that were sold were in Founders Corner, which is that new construction D.R. Horton neighborhood. You'll have a lot of more budget-friendly options that are less than that. If you are on a pretty tight budget and you're looking for that affordable option, then I would recommend keeping an eye on the market here because you can find that older ranch-style home at an affordable price, relatively speaking. So for being a small town that most people don't know about, Lincolnville has an incredible story that is steeped in history during one of the most transformative times in our country. The town has an incredible location right next to downtown Summerville with affordable home prices and a diverse range of home options. Now you know what the heck Lincolnville is. If you have any questions about real estate anywhere in Charleston, don't hesitate to reach out. As a top real estate team, we want to earn your business and be your resource for real estate. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.